Locker Room on News 3.
Hello and welcome inside our award-winning locker room show sponsored by your Hampton Roads Chevy dealers. I'm Megan Plain. Adam Winkler has the night off. With the Super Bowl in our rearview mirror, we now know that Bucs quarterback Tom Brady was able to go through a handful of future Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Drew Brees, on his way to another Super Bowl title. But one of the other quarterbacks who stood in his way was ODU's Taylor Heinicke, who started for Washington in the wild card round game against Tampa. Now, unlike those future Hall of Famers I mentioned, Heinicke's QBR was the highest single game grade for a quarterback in this season's playoffs and resulted in a multi-million-dollar contract with Washington. I caught up with his former ODU head coach, Bobby Wilder, who shares that he might just be better at playing football than when it comes to negotiating contracts.
I told Taylor, I said, you're not a very good poker player, because right after the game, he said, I want to stay in Washington and I want to play for Ron and I want to play for Scott Turner, who's the offensive coordinator. So it was almost like playing blackjack with a card down, and Taylor flipped his card over and he let him know what he wanted, but he got a really good contract. Like I said to Taylor the other night, you've been betting on yourself the last 5 years. So all he did, Megan, with this contract is really bet on himself.
He laid all his cards out there on the table, and it paid off though, because he ended up getting what he wanted after saying that he wanted to play for Washington. He's guaranteed a couple million over the next 2 years, and it's incentive-based, so he has a chance to make upwards of $8.5 million. Now, while Heinicke may have shown his cards, it comes as no surprise because, as I reported on Wednesday, Heinicke says he wants to stay loyal to offensive coordinator Scott Turner, who gave him a start in the league, a moment that Wilder remembers very clearly.
In 32 years, the only quarterback coach that I ever had come to my campus and work out my quarterback, interview me in person, was Scott Turner. Everybody was curious. Everybody was kind of poking around to see. Yeah, and then they saw his measurables, the 6 feet, the 200 pounds, and everybody pretty much backed off. But Scott actually flew there. He flew out from Minnesota. And I just remember talking to Taylor at the time thinking, I really think this is going to work because Scott Turner is now the one person that knows you like we know you.
Now let's go from a guy who successfully fought for an NFL contract to a guy who is fighting professionally. Norfolk boxer Keyshawn Davis traded in his Olympic dreams for another dream, fighting pro, which he embarks on in just 2 weeks. Norfolk native and pro boxer Keyshawn Davis wants just one thing for his birthday.
I'm getting a knockout for my birthday. Whatever comes after that, I don't really care.
A day before Davis turns 22 years old, he wants to put together a knockout performance in what will be his pro boxing debut on February 27th. A debut that took a lot of thought because Davis was training with Team USA and had the goal of winning a gold medal, something he was certainly on track to do, as he was heavily favored to win the lightweight division and end a 17-year gold medal drought for the U.S. men's team. But after the 2020 Olympics were postponed, his plans started to change.
It wasn't easy at all. 2020 was the roughest year of my life, honestly. Every day, the pros on my mind, or the Olympics on my mind, or just what should I do, or it was just every day I was battling with that. I was telling myself that 2021, something got to be different. Going into 2021, making that turn was the perfect turn, was the perfect route to go at the time. And I'm excited, man. I've never been this excited for a fight before.
Just as excited is his hometown of Norfolk, where you'll find the news of Davis's pro boxing debut showcased on a billboard.
It's a dream, man. My vision is just to stay focused and just to take it bigger than the billboards. Understand what I'm saying? And just getting to that next level to where I'm not only touching Norfolk, but I'm touching each city in all 50 states. Leave a real big legacy behind when it's my time.
But before that time comes is his 22nd birthday, a day he hopes will be accompanied by the celebration of a knockout win the night prior.